As usual, I have censored the name of the people that we are criticizing on the internet because I do not want to bring them attention. But suffice to say that if you check their bio, you will find that they are an aristocracy of Twitter. They have she, they displayed over there, and also the fact that they are into Marxism. So they have brought this interesting thing, pointing out that Neil Druckmann in the West are saying that we do not use the word fun when making video games. Meanwhile, the Chad Japanese man, the individual that is promoting diversity, and this is why I support, is saying that the game is fun. The game is a battle. If it's not fun, why bother? Right? So the Westerner, especially the more Marxist inclined they are, the more likely they are to put the pronouns in the bio, the more likely they are to dislike Japan. I have noticed this trend. I do not understand why. I can merely observe it, not explain it. But as you can see here, people like you are why everything sucks now. So even though this individual does seem to get its way when it comes to the current culture, they think that everything sucks. You just want all your culture to pretend you're still 11 world. Oh, all right. Okay. So here's my take on it, because I have noticed that indeed it is the Marxism inspired ideology which is suggesting that games shouldn't be fun. I've never heard this said before, ever, right? Until I have gone to Tumblr and I had the misfortune of making an account on Twitter. Yeah, I mean, there are games that are challenging. There are games that are hard. But you still get fun. I mean, you play Dark Souls and you can be very frustrated as you're trying to accomplish a task. You can die to the boss a million times. But then when eventually you do defeat the boss, you get to experience a dopamine rush. Like, that is fun. When you go to a boss and he kills you with one hit, but after 5 hours of trying, you manage to avoid all of his attacks like Goku in Ultra Instinct, that is fun. I guess there are certain things like League of Legends, where, you may not have that much fun, even if you win or lose, because you may get angry at the teammates. But even with League of Legends, you hope that eventually the next match that you play will be fun. You hope that you will have that pentakill. You hope that you will have that setup or that really nice synergy with your teammate. So even games that on the surface do not seem to be fun, they are indeed fun. Now, what the Marxist is talking about is not about these games, because Marxists are really good at language warfare. Like, they're trying to change the definitions, they're trying to bedazzle you by flapping their mouth. And by flapping their mouth, you become confused. They're not talking about fun in this sense. They're talking about pushing the message. You see, the Marxist message is like a cactus that needs to go up your tushy. And it's very unpleasant. It's very difficult. So they have to hide the message into something that does look pleasant, like your favorite video games, your favorite movies, your favorite whatever, right? Your favorite razor, like Gillette. The message is very unpalatable. Like, they know that people hate it, but it's all about changing behaviors, instilling behaviors into people. So they constantly try to push their message through other avenues. Unfortunately, their message is so toxic that it often destroys the avenue that uses it to push the message. So in this case, they're using it with Marvel movies. And we noticed just how bad Marvel movies are doing lately. In the case of The Last of Us 2, the message was definitely pushed. But apparently, it wasn't that successful. It was nearly not enough as successful as it should have been. And I will not be surprised if we're going to see The Last of Us 2 on Steam coming soon. So this is the main problem. This is why gamers are upset. It's because the franchises are destroyed in favor of the message. And by destroyed, I mean they're not profitable. And if they're not profitable actual human beings, which the Marxists care about, they have a lot of empathy, but actual human beings end up getting fired. And they can't put food on the table. They starve. This is why Marxism creates famine. Like, people cannot actually work. They cannot produce wealth. You see the issue? But not only that, when they say that games aren't fun, in the case of Neil Druckmann, like, he legitimately was spiteful to the fans. Like he hated the fans with such a passion. Most Western game developers have realized that if they praise the investors, if they raise their ESG points really high, then they don't have to cater to the consumers. In fact, the consumers are like a necessary evil. It's kind of like having to deal with Satan. They despise the consumer, they hate the consumer, and they make it well known on Twitter usually. Like, they are very vocal about what they think about their customer. And in the case of Neil Druckmann, he literally did a bait and switch. Like, he knew that a lot of people enjoyed the characters of the first game, and he destroyed those characters, literally killed one of them, Joel, right? He made Joel act out of character in order for him to die. In my opinion, he also did Ellie really bad. But in order to push his version of characters, his women, his I guess like creations. And he knew that gamers would be outraged and upset about it, so he hid it. Like, he hid it. Like, all the trailers showed Joel alive. All the trailers were showing that Joel is right. And when it was revealed, like, someone from within the company, which, by the way, most woke companies are really awful to their staff, just to cut Blizzard. Again, I can't explain it. I can just observe the behavior. Like, you notice one company, two companies, three, but like, how many until it becomes a pattern? So probably one of the people working there that was abused by the higher-ups. It had like a really high turnover, his company, by the way, like worse than the service industry. They released the trailer on Twitter, and people were abhorred by it. So Neil Druckmann knew just how bad it is and started DMCAing literally everyone that was sharing the trailer, including the official game account. But that just shows that he was aware of how damaging the story is. But like, what he wants to do was to take the money of the customer and give the middle finger to the customer in return. And that's why he says that it's not fun. Like he is not there to entertain the customer. He is there to spite the customer. He is there to lecture, to show just what a great human being he is compared to the customer. And this is why people do not like it when you say your games are not fun, because they think about this type of behavior, the progressive, Democrat supporter type of behavior. Meanwhile, the Japanese people do not do this. The Japanese people are like, okay, well, we can take money from our investors, but we don't have to spite the customer. And I noticed this with Capcom. Like, Capcom is going very woke, it's progressive, but on one hand, you get characters like Marissa, but you also get characters like Kami, much to the dismay and horror of the Twitter police. So let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.